couple of days ago, Prime Minister Carney, to global attention, identified that we're going through a rupture in our economic environment, and Canadians have had to react to that for the past year, and will have to continue to react to that. One of the consequences of a changing, economic environment has been the fact that we need to take care of industries in Canada that we have otherwise maybe relied on other countries to look after, etc. A huge area of that is our defense spending. And Canada and this federal government have a very large objective that we will see happening in 2026, in which defense spending will increase by at least 5%. That is a ton of money. And we want some of that money, we want all of that money to happen on the West Coast. And primarily, obviously it'll happen in all of the different components of defense spending, that being aircraft, Army, and Marine. And to do that, to successfully happen, we will most likely need new people because we don't have enough. And so today we're going to talk specifically about the immigration consequences of what Prime Minister Carney wants to achieve. How is that impacting us directly on the West Coast? And therefore, we're very lucky today to have someone who just went through this within the last couple of months. Davis Owen, a co-owner of Infinity Marine Systems on the BC West Coast. You're out of Gibson's. And Ali Dadkhah, an immigration lawyer with Infinity Law. Welcome to this conversation, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you bet. Davis, yeah, I got a call from you. It was sort of related to a very high impact, high volume Marine sector trainer, a Quadrant Marine on the West Coast here in Victoria. And you called and said, "Hey, I've got a problem. One of my key employees has got to leave the country. Help." And so you
Yeah.
called me, and that story was really mission critical for your business. Tell us what happened, please, and where we're
Of
at
course.
today.
Um, so just from business transition of ownership, there was a one document that was missed, from
Jeez.
not knowing, being new business owners, and with all the other stuff going on as far as transferring ownership. So when my employee went to renew his work permit to stay on with us, it got denied because of clerical oversight, unfortunately. And
What
without
got
him,
denied? What got
it
denied?
was an LMIA document, so labor
Uh-huh.
market impact assessment.
Mm.
So without him, we would have been very much in trouble.
We
And
would
that's,
not be talking today, you and I.
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where I, hit the ground running and didn't let up for about a month. I was persistent with help from a lot of supportive people in the industry, industry leaders, other business owners, all reaching out with letters of support, and offering to help in any way they could, which was great to see, both as, a local business owner, but also just to see the support in
Support.
our
Community support.
specific industry. It was great.
Yeah.
It was very helpful.
So technically, what exactly happened here? You had an employee that is, tell me his job title,
So,
please. And also, he's clearly an immigrant. He's from somewhere else and he's now working in
yep,
Canada. And we want to keep him in Canada.
yep.
And the current immigration laws
Oh
said,
yeah,
nope,
absolutely.
not today. And so why don't you go through a little bit of the details of that, please, for our audience?
Of course. Yeah, so he's got over 15 years of experience in our industry. He's worked all over the world. I consider him my senior mechanic. yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge that is not easily replaceable. Um, so yeah, I fought as best as I could to keep him around because he's part of the family at this point, not just as an employee, but
Why
he's.
did IRCC, which is the bureaucratic agency that looks after immigration in Canada, why did
Mhm.
they not decide originally to extend his LMIA? Was there
Uh,
some?
they're they only last. There's no, you can't renew them. You have to reapply. But
Okay,
reapplying was a time-consuming process, which I did not have. I
yeah,
needed to
and
get
it
this
sounded
figured
like
out.
there wasn't a classification for the kind of job he was doing.
Yeah, the only classification that was available when the previous owner brought him into the country was small engine mechanic, which, I
Hmm.
mean, yes, it kind of translates, but the wage doesn't match, and there's a bunch of things that didn't quite line up. And the problem with that was is if he broke that LMIA contract and everything in there, so if he got a raise or something like that, it would make that
Null and void.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
So,
so let's fast track to the new year.
okay,
And I understand that your contact at the IRCC, who was advocating on your behalf,
yep,
alerts you to the fact that some new occupational classification standards and definitions were
mhm,
implemented. And because of that, he was able to stay, I understand. Is that correct? Because
it is, yeah.
extend the LMIA?
No,
Okay,
I found a way to get him exempt from an LMIA.
I see.
Which is a employer specific um, closed work permit. So he's tied to our company
Yes,
through a offer of employment that we had to submit with his information and pay a compliance fee. And he then submitted for a LMIA exempt work permit
yes,
with specific occupation code that corresponds to his job title. And
yes.
we made
And he
sure
got
that
it.
yeah, and there's a list of duties that they require or suggest that he needs to accomplish, and other labor categories under that occupation code. So, with all of that information and all of our letters of support submitted, he was got the LMIA exemption, and he's here for the long haul. He's sticking with me.
Davis, you are a industry leader. You have now broken down some barriers, opened doors that hundreds and hundreds of other companies on the West Coast need to hear about. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. And I understand that the IRC representatives you were working with are now thinking about being more aggressive, potentially letting immigrants from overseas know about this so that they can work here.
Yeah, it's what it's out. There's not a whole lot of information just yet, but it sounds like it's at the beginning of, they're going to look more specifically to applicants with marine training and certifications to help them get work permits and kind of fill the void in our industry. So
Is
it's
there a
not
void?
different. Oh yeah, big time.
In
Yeah.
what areas, please? And Ellie, you're very politely watching. I'm going to come to you in a moment, but this story is very exciting. What are the missing
Just
skill
re
sets?
repair technicians. It's not a very recognized industry. It's not a Red Seal program, which a lot of people look for when they're going for post-secondary training or certifications. But truly, you do just as much, if not more, than other mechanical industries like automotive. Like it's a lot more in depth
Mm,
than people know. And I mean, being a member of both the automotive and the marine community, there's a good career to be had as a marine
yeah,
mechanic for
yeah,
sure. But just finding anybody with some sort of mechanical training specifically to the marine world is
yes. Impossible.
very, very difficult.
Impossible. Okay. Prime
Yeah.
Minister Carney This is the kind of on-the-ground leadership that's required to expand our industries so that we can survive in this world after this rupture. Ellie, your thoughts. You and I have been mucking around with immigration stuff
Yeah.
for a better part of 5 years and had to change our story every 3 months as these laws change. You have worked with larger marine companies recently, I understand. Give
Yeah.
us some of your perspectives on what Davis has done.
Um, One thing that uh, when I do consultation with these clients, with these companies, when they ask me about certain person, when they ask me about certain pathway, one of my very lately go-to answer is, I don't know.
Okay.
And that's bad for business in so many ways. But this is really not because I don't know. It's just because there are so much uncertainty in the practice right now.
Mm,
Rules are changing so much, and the way they are being applied is not really consistent and makes life very difficult for
business
employers.
owners.
And AKA on the other side of it, the employees, the foreign workers who are here. So as we know, in the past few years, there have been some serious changes in labor market impact assessment. Usually, that's the default license that employers need to get in order to bring a foreign workers to work in Canada. There are some exemptions that we just talked about it now, um, and just getting that one is becoming tougher every day, and
Mm,
it's becoming more time consuming. And it's just I understand right now there is consensus in Canada that rightfully we need to have more jobs for Canadians. But still, that leaves a big gap for certain occupations that we do not have enough of it. And
yeah.
now we're talking about marine sector.
Easy to
As you
say.
mentioned,
Let's get our
exactly,
Canadians to do it. Where are they?
absolutely,
They're not
absolutely.
here. It'll
Uh,
take them 5 years to get properly trained. I'm
yeah.
allowed, because I'm hosting this, to say what's going on. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Davis, great job. Ali, what
Okay.
have you, is it been your sense out there
Uh,
that that there aren't people for these jobs?
Absolutely. I'll share a similar story, and this is from just a couple of weeks ago. Uh, a marine company out of Vancouver Island, and we brought a marine engineer about a year and a half, 2 years ago. LMIA exempt and higher position, 3 years work permit. About a year into it, the company reached out. They told me this position is crucial for them. They need to maintain this, and I was like, perfect, sure. Let's see what we can do. And guess what? My answer was like, I don't know. I can't. Well, we did, and this is person coming from a European country, highly educated marine engineer, and years of international experience. And when we looked at it, how to keep this person permanently in Canada, something that we obviously need here,
Yeah,
and that if this person leaves, it will be a huge contract going to be lost by the company.
yeah.
And we couldn't find a pathway. There's really no pathway for this person to become permanent resident in Canada.
Uh,
And there are some, I mean, there are ways for us to extend that work permit, as I was
Yes.
talking to the employers, but really halfway through it, the employee basically left Canada.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like because he was like, this is overly complicated,
Yes.
and he
Too
was
much
like, okay,
stress for my family,
exactly.
the company. Yeah.
And he was like, tell me a way that I can actually get you my PR. I was like, if you speak French, you can get your PR because we have a kind of like a francophone prank. He was like, and he's from an Eastern European country. He was like, how am I going to speak French? I
Yes,
mean, me
yes.
as a marine engineer, I actually have to learn French. I mean, what my background experience is not enough for me to be able to stay here permanently. So we can see the gap. We can
Yeah.
see kind
And
of
and and
the,
can I make
yeah.
something very clear to our listeners? These processes, these immigration processes that our government has established, ensure beyond a shadow of a doubt that a Canadian can't do the job. We're not through our discussions, taking away jobs from Canadians. This is essential to hear. And so, Davis, congratulations. Let's
Thanks.
try to reconnect about 3 months from now, if not sooner, with any updates, because this
Yep.
is mission critical information for a marine industry poised for a tsunami of business opportunity. And if they're all sitting going, let's do this, whoop, can't, there's no staff. Government has to hear that. Okay, we're going to
I
be
got
the noise.
just a quick side note. I've had job postings up for quite some time. I've
Yeah,
had one Canadian applicant out of 2 dozen. Everyone else has been foreign nationals.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so we're not stealing jobs. Nobody wants to take Canadian jobs away from Canadians.
nope,
We want to increase the industry so there'll be more jobs for Canadians.
And
absolutely.
and and that's one part of it. The other part is Davis mentioned his business located in Gibsons.
Mhm.
And we are not really talking about a major city like Vancouver, Calgary, like Toronto. Gibson's is a smaller town. And the lack of professionals, specifically in smaller town. And Davis, for his recruitment for LMIA, it wasn't just like he's only advertising in Gibsons or BC. We are
And
mandated to advertise all over Canada. There's something called
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Job Bank. And
Yeah,
when Davis says only one person applied, one person in Canada applied, not one person in BC, not one person from Gibsons.
Yeah.
that's extraordinary. Gentlemen, I'm so honored and thankful that both of you decided to participate in this conversation. We're going to make a ton of noise. If this
Perfect.
government and we want to, as Canadians, want to achieve our solutions to this rupture, some things have got to change. And we're going to try to talk about that change. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.